My apologies for starting late. All right, I'm about 30 minutes late. So, how are you guys doing? How uh, how is your weekend? How is your weekend? Okay, we're going to be looking at the 3 P's of diabetics. Okay, we're going to be looking about the 3 P's of diabetics. What are the 3 P's? I've mentioned it before, I've discussed about it before. The 3 P's of diabetics, I've mentioned it before. What are the 3 P's for diabetics? All right. If you are like my YouTube is back on now, so I'm live on YouTube. For those that have been asking me if my YouTube is not yet on, so I'm live on YouTube now. So I'm streaming on YouTube on all the 3 platforms. The YouTube page is back, and the 2 Facebook page. So we're going to be looking at the 3 P's. What are the 3 P's for diabetics? My apologies that I started late, but I'm going to try to make it up. Okay, I started late. Something is not right here. All right, please indicate where you're watching me from once you join the program. Kindly indicate your location where you're watching, and then also, if my audio is not clear, please draw my attention in the comment section if my audio is not clear. So what are the 3 P's for diabetics? Okay, so let's go into it. Before I start, I don't know, who is a PSG fan here? Who is an Inter Milan fan here? I wish you guys good luck. I'm not supporting any of the team. Let the best team win. Those are not my team that I support. So if you support PSG or you support Inter, I wish you guys good luck. All right. My team is performed badly in the last season, so I hope the new season they're going to perform well. So I wish you guys good luck for those that are supporting PSG and those that are supporting Inter today's championship final, UEFA championship game final. All right, let's go back to the topic. What we are discussing is about diabetics. Diabetics, please indicate where you are watching from once you join the program, and then I'm streaming on YouTube now. So those that have been asking me what about YouTube page, I'm live on YouTube as I'm streaming now, so you can also watch me on YouTube. All right. In fact, let me just put it out there so that before we go. All right, I'm gonna go to the other page and then Henrik, you're welcome. This is not working. I'm streaming on YouTube now, so those that have been watching asking me what about YouTube page, I'm live on YouTube as I'm streaming now, so you can also Okay. Right. Hold on. I'm waiting for some few minutes. Let everybody join and then we'll start the program. All right. I'm waiting for a few minutes so that everybody join the program and then uh, all right. I'm waiting for everybody to join and then all right. All right. Let's go now. I think I've given. Let's go. Okay. So what are the three P's for diabetics? As I said in my earlier intro, what are the three P's for diabetics is what I'm going. So the three P's, the three P's, the three P's of diabetics. Okay, I've discussed this program before. I've mentioned them in one of my programs. Those are medical names for the symptoms of diabetics. So we are going to concentrate on the three P's. We're going to concentrate on those three P's of diabetics and then look at the symptoms, why they are called the three P's of diabetics. So when I start discussing them, you're going to be aware of it. What are those three P's? Okay. Jada Buisi in YouTube says hi, and I say hi to you. So the three P's of diabetes are, okay, polydipsia. Polydipsia is the first 3P of diabetics. Okay, polydipsia is first 3Ps of diabetics. And we have the polyuria. Polyuria is the second one of diabetics. Mbia, you're welcome. And then we have the Polgavia. Polgavia is the third one, the third piece of diabetes. That is why we refer them as the 3Ps of diabetics. These are medical names for the symptoms of diabetes. So we have the polydipsia as the first 3Ps, the first 3Ps of diabetics. And we have the polyuria. The polyuria is the second piece of diabetes, okay? Polyuria is the second piece of diabetics. And then we have the polyphagia. The polyphagia is the third one of diabetes. So we refer them as the 3Ps because they all started with Ps. So each of them has a cause, and then they also be accompanied by symptoms of diabetics. So respectively, these terms refer to increase. Okay, now these 3Ps, these are medical terms for diabetics. We refer them medically as the 3Ps of diabetics. Those 3Ps refers all 3Ps refers to an increase in thirst, increase in urination, and increase in appetite. They all deal with an increase. When you drink excessive water, when you urinate a lot, and at the same time when you eat too much, excessive hunger. So these are the 3Ps. So the medical name of them are polyphagia, and again the polyuria. Now, the common name that everybody understands is when you are dealing with the symptoms of diabetes, they say you have an increase, you are urinating too much. That one you can understand. Or when they say you have excessive thirst, you are drinking excessive water, that one you can understand that, I'm drinking too much water. Or I'm eating too much, that one you can understand. They're using those medical names. So all those three refers to an increase in thirst, increase in urination, and then eating excessively. So we're going to identify each of them and at the same time deal with the symptoms. So we refer them as the 3Ps of diabetics. Okay? Okay. Lindsay. Okay, so those are the 3Ps. Now we're going to look at individually. What are they? Why are they the symptoms of diabetics? Because all these three refer to the symptoms of diabetics or pre-diabetics. So the 3Ps, okay, of diabetes are the most common symptoms of diabetes. So when you are experiencing diabetes or you don't even know why you are urinating a lot, all of a sudden you are urinating a lot. All of a sudden you are eating too much. All of a sudden you are drinking too much, more than required. You keep wondering, why am I drinking too much water? These are all the common symptoms of people that may experience or just before they are diagnosed as a diabetic. So when you start drinking too much of water, or when you start eating too much, or when you start peeing a lot, every second or every minute you're going to the washroom, and you are wondering why are all these symptoms occurring, you might be a pre-diabetic without even knowing that you're a diabetic until you go and do some blood work, and then you've been told that yes, you're a diabetic because of those symptoms you're seeing. They are the common symptoms of diabetics. Okay? So now we're going to look at each of them. What is among those 3Ps, which one refers to as an increase in urination when you're peeing too much? Which one is eating too much? And which one is the one you're drinking too much water? So we're going to look at each of them, what they refer to as in the medical terms. So let's look at polydipsia. So when the doctor says you have polydipsia, it means you are drinking excessive water, you are drinking excessively. So excessive thirst, when you have excessive thirst, you drink a lot of water, we call it polydipsia. That's the medical name of it. And that's why we refer to them as the 3 P's of diabetics. So polydipsia means you have excessive thirst. You are drinking a lot of water. All right. Now, polyuria, okay, is you have frequent urination. So when you have frequent urination, we refer to it as polyuria. It means you are peeing a lot. All right. Now, polyphagia, okay, is an increase in appetite. That means you eat a lot, increase in hunger. So you have a lot of, you just finish eating, all of a sudden you're eating again. So we call it polyphagia. So that is increase in appetite. And when you have too much of appetite to eat, you eat a lot. So that is why they are referred as the 3 P's of diabetes, and they are the more common symptoms of diabetics. They are the more common symptoms of diabetics. Okay. Now these symptoms, all right, these symptoms may occur at the same time or individually. Now, when you are not yet sure if you're diabetes, the symptoms might be mild, or you might not even notice it. They might be silent or dormant, but they graduate. They start from a little stage 1, and they keep progressing until it becomes so bothersome to your health that when you go to the hospital, they say you have diabetics. So sometimes it is mild, the symptoms are mild, it graduates from a step to step until it becomes to the later stage where it becomes advanced. And by the time you get to the hospital, you've been advised after your blood work that you are diabetic. So the symptoms might appear all together at once, or they may appear individually. All right, so that is what it is. So do you have any other question before we start going? Now, I have a couple of questions. I'm going to be deviating from one topic to another. I have a couple of questions that I'm going to bring in here. They might not be related to this particular topic, but I'll try to answer them. Diane, you are welcome. I might try to answer them in this. All right. Okay. Now, let's look at polydipsia. Let's look at polydipsia. Okay. Now, when we use polydipsia, you already know what is polydipsia. As I just defined them, when we talk about polydipsia, we're talking about excessive thirst. Okay. So polydipsia refers to excessive thirst. When you have excessive thirst, what happens? You drink a lot of water. Now, polydipsia is the medical term for excessive thirst. We all know about that. So if I don't want to use polydipsia, I can say you're drinking too much of water, you have an excessive thirst. Okay? Now, that's the medical name. Now, if you're experiencing excessive thirst, you feel thirsty, and the more you feel thirsty, the more you have the urge to drink a lot of fluid, a lot of water. So, and because you feel excessive thirst, you have dry mouth. You have a dry mouth because excessive thirst means you need water to water your mouth. So it's accompanied by a dry mouth. Now, if you have diabetics, or for instance, in people with diabetics, okay, this symptom of polydipsia occurs due to an increase in your blood sugar level. Due to an increase in your blood sugar level. Now, I think in one of my videos, if I could not remember, I've said it, people think that when their mouth is dry, that is when their sugar level is low. No, you have the opposite reaction. The more saliva you have in your mouth, the lesser your sugar level in your bloodstreams. You don't have excessive sugar in your bloodstreams. The more you have a dry mouth, then the higher you have high glucose level in your bloodstreams. So that is why you have to make sure that you have saliva, your mouth is not dry. You have opposite reaction. The same thing, people think that when they fast, that is when their sugar level is low. No, when you fast, when you deny yourself food, when you're supposed to eat, you have the opposite reaction of high glucose level. So in people with diabetics, so when these symptoms of polydipsia occur, okay, the blood sugar level is what? Is high. Now, when your blood glucose level gets high, what happens to your kidney? When your blood sugar level gets high, what happens to your kidney? Your kidney produces more of urine in effort to remove the excessive glucose level in your bloodstreams. And that is why you pee every second or every minute. Okay? So meanwhile, because your body is losing fluid, because when the kidney is working, it's working over time to get rid of those excessive glucose level from your blood, from your body. It is also getting rid of a fluid from your system. So not only getting excessive glucose level from your stream, it's also getting fluid from your body. That is why you become dehydrated. That you have the urge to drink a lot of water. So in the process of your body losing fluid and at the same time losing the excessive glucose level in your bloodstreams, your brain tells you to drink more to replace those fluid that you are losing because you're becoming dehydrated. Okay? And you have an intensive thirst. So you have that intensive head and have that persistent feeling that thirst can also occur with other symptoms. And that is why you drink a lot of water. Now, this persistent feeling of thirst can also occur due to some other factors. Dehydration, because you are losing fluid, because your kidney is working overtime to get rid of those excess glucose level in your bloodstream. At the same time, you are losing fluid, and then dehydration occurs. All right? And there's something we call osmotic diuresis. Osmotic diuresis is an increase in urination because you are peeing frequently due to excessive glucose level in the bloodstreams. Okay? Then the kidney goes into overwork to see how they can get rid of those excess glucose level from your system. At the same time, fluid is going out of your body, and when that is occurring, when those two things are occurring, you're having been dehydrated. Okay? So that is what we call polydipsia when you have excessive thirst. And when you have excessive thirst, the tendency for you to have a dry mouth is there. And because you have a dry mouth, your glucose level is high. All right, that is what we'll say polydipsia, excessive thirst. And that is why it's the common symptoms of diabetics. When you drink a lot of water, we call it polydipsia, or increased thirst, because when you have an increased thirst, you drink a lot of water. And when you drink a lot of water, what happens? There are two things that occurs in your system. The kidney goes into overwork to get rid of those excess glucose level from your bloodstream. And at the same time, in the process of getting those excess glucose level from your bloodstreams, you are losing fluid in the body. And when you are losing fluid in the body, you become dehydrated. And because you're dehydrated, your mouth is dry, you need to drink water to replace those fluid that you are losing. And that is why it becomes a revolving cycle. Okay, so when you have polydipsia, drinking excessive thirst, drinking excessive water, that is abnormal within yourself because you can tell that why am I drinking too much of water? So if you are noticing these symptoms, keep the date when you start noticing that symptom, when you start noticing the polydipsia, when you start drinking a lot of water. It might be accompanied with another symptom, either polyuria, another common symptoms of diabetes. So you have to always keep a date when the symptoms start. So because when you go to see a doctor, your family doctor, they're going to ask you, when do you start noticing those symptoms? Because it's very crucial in determining what is happening to your system. Okay? So it is important anytime you notice a symptom that is abnormal to your health, that you know that this is not my body, write the date and time that you notice it and keep watch. Because some of those symptoms might come and disappear, stay for some couple of days and come back again. So you have to know how those symptoms work in your system. And then if that persists for 7 days, stop self-medication, go and see your doctor. All right? So we're going to be looking at the second one, polyuria. We're going to be looking at polyuria. So we're going to be looking at polyuria. Before I look at polyuria, I'm going to answer one question. There are a couple of questions that I'm going to answer, but I'm going to answer one question and we'll go to polyuria. Oh no. Okay. There's a question I need to answer here, but it's let me see. Okay, there's this question that I'm going to answer. It's a topic that I want to discuss in another day, but that question comes in today, and I'm going to answer it now. Somebody asked me that question in time. It has to regard about fasting, and I've wanted to do a topic on fasting and diabetics. Why do you have to fast? What is the importance of intermittent fasting when you're a diabetic? Now, it is good to fast, but there must be a reason why you fast. Don't just fast because of fasting. You want to fast for fasting's sake. There's a reason why you fast. Okay, you must have a reason why you started fasting. Don't just start fasting when you don't need it. For religious purposes, that is understood. But your health comes first before those religious purposes, because you must be healthy to fast. If you know you're not healthy, you don't need to fast. So we have to have that we agree that in common. Now, I wanted to discuss a topic about intermittent fasting. I'm trying to make a topic, make a video on it before I got this question. So I'm going to answer it on today's video. So it is not relevant to this particular topic we are discussing today. But since it's part of diabetics discussion, then I will answer those questions now. The question is, why is it 16 hours the magic number for fasting? I'm going to share that question with you guys. Somebody asked me that question, and I find it interesting too. Let me share the question. Pablo, you're welcome. Blessing Banda, you're welcome. Why is 16 hours? I've shared the question. I'm going to share the question and then we'll answer it all together. So that is the question there. That is the question before we go back to our topic. He said, why is 16 hours the magic number for fasting? Okay. Why is 16 a magic number for fasting? Okay. Now, when I saw this question, I wanted to put it because I want to discuss something about called intermittent fasting. Okay, and diabetics. And then this question come in. Now, if you fast for 16 hours a day, okay, it could be, I'm using the word it could be, but not necessarily that it is a definitive way. It could be, okay, an effective way for you to lose weight if you fast 16 hours a day. It could be. I'm not saying it's a definitive way for you to lose weight, but it could be an effective way for you to lose weight. Okay? Now, one thing you have to understand is that you have to fast if it's the need that you have to fast. But when you are fasting, there are certain things you have to put into consideration. Your health comes first. It is when you are healthy that you can now make a space for you to fast for a number of hours or days. But if you are not healthy, it is not compulsory that you have to fast. Your health, you have to be alive and healthy for you to fast. You cannot be unhealthy and going through certain illnesses and you want to compound fasting to your health. You're making your situation worse because you need energy to go through those medications and those treatments because you need to eat. All right. So you have to suspend fasting when you are not healthy until you regain your health now to start fasting. Now, one effective way, or it could be an effective way to lose weight, 16 is by doing 16 hours a day fasting. That is why it's a magic number for fasting. It could be an effective way to lose weight. But alternating your fasting days might actually be more effective than 5-2 diet or time restricted eating, such as 16-8 dieting. What am I trying to say? You fast 16 hours a day. Maybe you want to lose weight. That is the purpose why you are fasting that 16 hours a day, and that is why it's a magic number. But there's an alternate way also that you can achieve the same result of losing weight instead of using that 16 hours a day. Either use the 5-2 method or use the 16.16-8 diet. Now, 5-2 diet or time restricted eating, such as 16-8 diet. What is 5-2 diet and what is 16-8 diet? Okay. Now, all right, Damien, I'm going to come to that. Okay, I'm going to come to your question. Let me finish with this question. All right. All right. So I was trying to say something before this guy interjected. I said alternating your fasting days might actually be more effective than 5-2 diets or time restricted dieting, such as 16-8 diet. Now, why is 5-2 dieting and 16-8 dieting? Let me break it down. You can fast for 16 hours a day. You can fast for 16 hours, but you are eating only, in between that 16 hours, you are only eating 8 hours out of that 16 hours every day. That is what is called 16-8. That means you are fasting out of the 16 hours you're supposed to fast every day. You eat 8 hours in that 16 hours. So you are fasting for 16 hours and then eating 8 hours every day. Okay? Also, I'm going to make you to achieve the same result of losing weight. So that is what we refer to as 16-8. That means you are fasting for 16 hours. But out of that 16 hours, you eat every 8 hours. All right? So every 8 hours, you eat and you fast for another 8 hours, and they skip it and they eat the next 8 hours. So that is what we call it 16-8. The same thing applies to 5-2. You either use the 5-2 method, okay, where you are fasting for 16 hours, but for every 5 hours, you eat. At the same time, you're going to achieve the same result of fasting for 16 hours straight a day. So that is why 16 hours is a magic number for fasting. You fast for 16 hours, an effective way for you to lose weight. Or you could use 5-2 diet proportion or 16.8 diet proportion, whereby you are fasting for 16 hours, but you break it every 8 hours or every 5 hours to achieve the same result of that magic number, 16 hours fasting. Okay? So I'm going to answer that question. I'm going to go back to what we were discussing before about the symptoms of diabetes. Okay, let me see. So we're going to go into polyuria now. I'm going to discuss into polyuria. So let's discuss the second symptoms, polyuria. Let's discuss the second symptoms, polyuria. Okay, what is polyuria? Polyuria is when you are frequent urination. When you are urinating a lot, we call it polyuria. That is the most common symptoms of diabetics. Now, most people living with diabetes, or most people, produce more than 1 to 2 liters of urine per day. Now, Now, 1 liter is equal to 4 cups of water. 1 liter is equal to 4 cups of water, or whatever fluid that you're drinking. Now, people with polyuria produce more than 3 liters of urine a day. So if you are normal, say for instance you are normal, you are not a diabetic, you're supposed to produce about 1 to 2 liters of urine per day. And 1 liter of urine is equal to 4 cups. Now, those people that are suffering from polyuria produce more than 3 liters of urine per day. Okay, that is why they call it excessive urination. You frequently urinate all the time. Now, when your blood glucose level is high, your body will try to remove some of those excessive glucose levels from your bloodstreams, and at the same time removing some fluid from your blood, from your system. Now, this also leads to your kidney filtering out more water, which causes increased need to urinate. Because your kidney have to go into overwork to get rid of those excess glucose level from your bloodstreams. And because of that overwork, the tendency of getting rid of excess fluid from your body is there, because the sugar is going out in the form of fluid, and the fluid that your body needs also is part going out. Okay? So that will now cause you to have an increase to urinate. Now, when you passing a typical amount of urine can also be associated with other things besides diabetes. So we all know that when you are urinating too much, we just blame it on diabetes. Okay, but there might be other things. There might be other things that can also cause you to have frequent urination that might not even be diabetics, and that's what I'm talking about. So we're going to look at those factors. We're talking about other factors or other contributing factors that may lead you to be having excessive urine. Not only diabetics. It might not even be diabetes, but you are passing too much urine. So that we call them a contributing factors while you are passing too much urine, and we call it polyuria. Now, remember, if you have polyuria, you might be urinating more than 3 liters of urine per day. Now, let's look at those contributing factors that make you to be urinating frequently. One is pregnancy. Pregnancy can make you to be urinating frequently more than 3 liters a day. Okay, so if you might be pregnant and not diabetics, but you are passing excessive urine. All right, now diabetics is another symptom. Can also cause you to have that frequent urination. All right, now we have kidney disease. You might not be diabetics, but you have kidney disease. This can cause you to be frequent urination. All right, now we have hypercalcemia. Hypercalcemia is when you have too much of calcium in your body. So excessive calcium, we call it hypercalcemia, can also cause you to have passing out excessive urine from your body. Now we have mental health issues such as psychological polydipsia. So mental health issues was, you might be going through some mental health issues that can be psychological in nature, that can also cause you to have passing excessive urine. And we already have some medication also. There's some medication that you might take, okay? Diuretics, for instance, the diuretic is one type of medication that you can take that can cause you to have excessive urination. So apart from diabetics, these are other contributing factors that make you to have polyuria when you are passing excessive urine. But we all know, without even being told, that when I'm going through the washroom and passing too much urine from my body, it means I have diabetes. And that's a cause of concern for you to see a doctor to run a blood work. The earlier, the better you will know that you have diabetes, the better for you. So that before it starts causing too much of nerve damages in your system and then disturbing your kidney and livers. So the earlier you notice those symptoms and report to your doctor to conduct a blood work to find out if you're a diabetic in nature. And if the answer is yes, the earlier the treatment, the better to safeguard those organs so that there will be no too much nerve damages that is going to be occurring, that's going to cause him too much complications down the road. Okay? So we're going to go to the third one, which is polyphagia. Polyphagia is when you have excessive hunger. We're going to talk about that. I'm going through allergic reaction this morning, so but I'm much better now. And you're welcome. All right, somebody's asking me what is, hold on. So someone's asking me what is diuretic. Diuretic is spelled as D-I-U-R-E-T-I-C-X. It's called diuretic. It's a class of medication. Diuretic is a class of medications, okay, that can make you have excessive urination. So these are, diuretic is a, as I say, it's a class of, or a type of medication, also called a water pill. So if I don't want to call it diuretic drug, I call it a water pill. Okay, we call it water pills. Now, these are medications designed to increase the amount of water and salt expelled from the body as urine. So when you have excessive so when you have excessive water in your system, or excessive salt, or excessive sugar in your blood system, if you are not a diabetic, first of all, they have to find out why you are having frequent urination. So you might be prescribed a diuretic class of medications, or we call them water pills. Okay, these are medications that are designed to increase the amount of water and salt expelled from the body as a urine. Okay, as I said, it's a class of medication, but we call them diuretic medications, drugs, or a water pills. There are different forms of diuretic medications. So diuretic medications, just a class of medications, just one name, but there are different medications brand underneath it. But sometimes we refer them as water pills. So they are used to expel, remove excessive water and salt and sugar from the bloodstreams, okay, as urine. So now, okay, then I'm coming to your question, I'll answer it. So there are different class of it. They could be used to treat high blood pressure at the same time also. They could be used to treat high blood pressure. Now, as I said, there are different class. Okay. There are three types of diuretic classes of medications. We have the loop diuretic, we have the thiazide diuretic, okay, and we have the potassium sparing diuretic. All has a different treatment or different medication used at different, we call them water pills. Okay, they must have the same purpose, but they have different brands and different issuance. So the loop diuretic, okay, like the loop diuretic is always used to treat heart failure. Okay, the loop is used to treat heart failure. So that is one. We call them loop diuretic medications. So the thiazide, okay, the thiazide medications are prescribed. They are most often used to treat high blood pressures. So call them all water pills. So I don't want to, because the more I go into that medications, I'm going to be deviated from one. So I better go back to, so because you asked what is diuretic, I said they are all water pills. They are a class of medications used to In salt, when you have too much of water and salt in your system, they use it to expel those substances from your body in the form of urine. Okay, so that is it. So I don't want to discuss that in much details, but I'm just giving you the synopsis of what diuretic medications are. They are all water pills, and they are a class of medications used in the different circumstances in terms of if you have too much of water in your system that is not being absorbed into the body, and then salt or blood sugar or high blood sugar level, they are water pills just to expel them in the form of urine from your system to give you more space. All right. So we're going to be discussing polyphagia. Okay, polyphagia. Before I got that question, what is polyphagia? Polyphagia is when you have excessive hunger. When you eat too much of, you just finish eating, within seconds again, you are looking for another food. So you have excessive hunger. All these are common symptoms of diabetics. Okay, polyphagia. Now, we may feel an increase in appetite, because when you have an increase in appetite all the time, you're going to eat a lot. And that is why I said diabetics, you've been advised to resist eating too much. Okay, resist it, because the more you eat every second, carb counting start accumulating and affect your sugar level. The more you eat frequently, remember you are consuming carbs, and those carbs can accumulate to go the above required amount that you need that particular day. And the next thing now, your sugar level is going to be high. So anything that's going to make you to have excessive hunger, eating all the time, is going to be a contributing factor why you're diabetics, because you're going to be eating too much and accumulating those carbs. And when those carbs combine, break down, they're going to be, when those carbs are being digested, converted into sugar, they're going to dump into the bloodstreams and then escalate your sugar level high. So you're going to avoid too much of carb consumption, and that is why that excessive hunger is a symptom of diabetes, because you're going to be eating too much carbs. All right. So such as after exercise, or if you haven't eaten a while, or you just finished eating and all of a sudden within some few seconds again you started eating. So sometimes it can be a sign of underlying conditions. When you start having excessive hunger, you're eating too much. So first of all, I've said it several times on my channel here, on my page here, that when symptoms started, it is important to have the date of that symptom started, note it down, and watch over it for the 7 days. If that symptom persists, then see your family doctor to run some checks on you. It could be an underlying cause. It could not even be diabetics, but you want to find the underlying cause of those symptoms. And doctors don't treat symptoms, they treat on the underlying cause to get rid of those symptoms that you are passing through. So it could be any underlying cause why you are having those excessive hunger. All right? So in people with diabetes, glucose can't enter the cells. So when you have diabetics, it's all about glucose, managing of your glucose level. Because once the glucose level in your blood exceeds the amount, the brain is going to send a signal to the pancreas to release the insulin to get rid of those excess glucose level from this bloodstream into the cells, where they can be converted and used as energy that your body needs to function. Now, what happens is that you are a diabetic because the cells can't get access to those excessive glucose level in your bloodstreams. That is why you become diabetic, because your body cannot get access to those excessive glucose level in your bloodstreams, and they become diabetic. So what happens? They keep accumulating in the bloodstreams and then causing you harms in your body. So when the body can't get, when the glucose can't enter the cells for the body to be used as an energy, what happens? This can be due to either the low insulin, either the pancreas is not producing enough insulin to get rid of those excess glucose level, or the pancreas is producing too much insulin, but your body doesn't know how to use it to get rid of those excess glucose level from the bloodstreams into the cells. Okay? So that is how it works. Now, so what happens? You become insulin resistant. Okay? You become insulin resistant. Now, because your body can't convert this glucose to energy, you begin to feel hunger or hungry, because those excess glucose level, the cells cannot have access to them, and then you are empty. That is why you keep eating all the time, because those excess glucose level is not entering the cells where they are needed as an energy. And the more you eat, the more you are pounding your glucose level high, but they cannot enter the cells. So you keep eating, but those excess glucose level that the body need in the cells to be used as energy, where they are being needed, the cells cannot have access to them. So inside those cells, is empty. That is why you are feeling hungry. You keep eating, but they are not. The cells can't have access to them to feel that hunger that you are eating. So you eat, instead of entering the cell, the excess glucose level, they dump it in the bloodstreams. So the cells are empty. The excess glucose level that the cells need to fill that void, the cells can't have access to them because of the insulin resistance. Two things. the pancreas is not producing enough insulin to get rid of those excess glucose levels from the bloodstream into the cells where they are needed, or the pancreas is producing more than enough insulin, but the cells, the body doesn't know how to use those insulin to get rid of those excess glucose level into the cells where they are needed. So what happens? You keep eating all the time. All right. So we're going to look at other factors. What are the other factors? Apart from this, there might be other factors that might be a contributing factor why you are eating too much, not even diabetics. Diabetes is just one factor. There may be other factors why you are eating too much. All right. So we have something we call hyperthyroidism. Hyperthyroidism, overreactive thyroid is what I had. I had it. I just removed half of my thyroid. I removed one of my thyroid. I did a surgery. So overreactive thyroid or hyperthyroidism can cause you to eat a lot. So when you have an overreactive thyroid, what happens to overreactive thyroid or hyperthyroidism is that your thyroid, the two butterfly organs that are here, they are located one here, one here. This thyroid is responsible in producing all the hormones that the body needs to function. Without two thyroid, your body cannot function because you need those hormones that your body needs. Now, when the thyroid is overreactive or hyperthyroidism, it means it is producing too much hormone that the body needs. Underreactive thyroid means the thyroid is producing less hormone. But when you have an overreactive thyroid, it means the thyroid is producing too much hormone that the body needs, more than required, and it's causing you problems. I had that issue, and it was not a pleasant experience that I have to wish to my enemy when you have an overreactive thyroid. Okay? So that is what is called overreactive thyroid or hyperthyroidism. Now, the second one is premenstrual syndrome, PMS. Premenstrual syndrome, those women that are going through a menstrual period can cause you to have eat too much. Now, stress can also be one contributing factor. So PMS can also be one factor, and then stress can also be one factor why you're eating too much. Now, certain medications that you take, like certain steroids, okay, corticosteroids can also cause you to eat too much. There are certain medications, especially steroids, can cause you to eat too much. Okay, so these are some other contributing factor apart from diabetes. When you have the cells are not having access to those excess glucose level, that can be a contributing factor why you are eating too much. And that is what are common symptoms of diabetes. All right. So we're going to go to some questions now. We're going to go to some questions. If you have any question, please ask your questions on the comment sections. If you have any question. Okay, we're going to go through some certain questions now. So those are the 3 P's of diabetes I just discussed now. So we're going to answer some questions. And if you have any questions, please put it on the comment section. And for those, just to remind you again, I'm streaming on YouTube. So my YouTube page is back. It's been a long while I'm not been streaming on YouTube. So I just rectify it now. So I'm streaming on YouTube and then the Facebook. Okay, so now the first question here is, how do doctors diagnose diabetes from these symptoms? That is the first question. How do doctors diagnose diabetes from these symptoms? Before I answer this question, let me remind to all of you that please, you have to share this video. Like this video, give us a thumbs up. And again, if you are not yet subscribed to my page, you are not yet following my page, please kindly do so. so that anytime I put on a new content, you'll be notified, or anytime I go live, you'll be notified. It's important. If you're not yet following this page, kindly do so. All right. So, how do doctors diagnose diabetes from these symptoms? How do they? How do doctors diagnose these symptoms? Okay. Now, what you have to understand, the question is, how do doctors diagnose diabetes from these symptoms? That is the question. How? Now, what you have to understand is that these three P's of diabetes often occurs together, but not always. These three P's, these three symptoms sometimes or mostly occurs all together, but not all the time. Sometimes it might occur individually, sometimes it might occur all in one go. Now, these symptoms develop more quickly in people with type 1 diabetics than in type 2 diabetics, and more slowly in those with type 2 diabetics. So when you have type 1 diabetes, you see these symptoms, it's going to develop more quickly if you have type 1 diabetes than those battling type 2 diabetes. Okay? Now, since the three P's indicate higher blood glucose levels, your doctor may consider them when making a diagnosis of diabetes through your blood work. They run a simple blood work to find out where your sugar level is. Now, your doctor will likely also consider other symptoms and then information to determine if you have diabetes. For example, or for instance, they will mostly ask, most likely order certain diagnosis blood tests. It's all about blood work. Because the question is, how do doctors diagnose diabetes from these symptoms? It's all about blood work. You are not discussing with your doctor, oh, doctor, I saw these symptoms, I'm urinating too much, I'm eating too much, I can't sleep at night. So there's some evaluation in your doctor's office. Certain questions are going to be asked to evaluate the possibility that this might be diabetes. So when the doctor is convinced that, you know what, there's a tendency with what you're telling me, I'm going to send you for a blood work. So they're going to conduct a blood test. Okay? A blood test to find out if these symptoms measures that you're diabetic. So it's when the result comes back, it's going to determine if these symptoms have anything to do with the diabetes situations. So that is how doctors determines or diagnose diabetes symptoms through a blood test. So once they're going to see all these symptoms, doctor is going to run a blood test to find out if you are a diabetic. Okay? All right. Okay, so we're getting there. Okay, so I want to make sure you guys have any other question. Okay, so all right, so I think we're just an hour now. So I'm going to see if you guys have any other question. If you guys have any other question on this topic, do you have any other question on this topic, the 3 Ps? For those that are joining us now, please, you're going to wait to want to download the video, and then you guys can watch the full video. And also, the question that I've just answered, if you guys have more further questions, please write it in the comment section. When you have a further question, write it on the comment sections, and I'm going to answer your questions. All right, so I'm just going to wait and see. I'm opening the floor now to see if you guys have any other further question, any further questions on this. All right, okay, now yeah, I'm going to do a topic on intermediate fasting. I'm going to do a topic on intermediate fasting one of these days. All right, my friends, I know most of you are getting ready to watch the UEFA Championship game final today. If you guys have any further question after watching this video, please send it on my comment section. Send it down on my comment sections, and I'm going to answer your question. Damian, I'm going to respond to your question according to how you instructed it. I'm not going to discuss it on a live video. So if you have, expect my answer, I'm going to inbox you with my response. All right. Again, let me see my the other page before I say goodbye. We're just passing an hour now, so hopefully I'm going to see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to see you guys earlier than that. Tomorrow I'm going to see you guys. We're going to discuss another topic on intermediate fasting. We're going to discuss tomorrow on intermediate fasting, because most of you misunderstood fasting when you are battling diabetes. So we're going to look at what is the intermediate fasting and how does it affect your body as a diabetic. Okay, we're going to discuss that tomorrow. So try to make sure that you join the program. And then, so please keep watching the video, and then let me see your comment and response. Tell me what you guys think about this particular video on the comment section. I'd like to read more about it. So please do not forget to share the video and tell me what you guys think about this particular topic. The 3 Ps, what do you understand? Are you having experience with it? And if there's any other questions regarding to it, please do not forget to ask me in the comment sections. So it is time to leave you guys now. And those that are joining us now will have to wait. When I download the video on my page, you can watch it fully. And then if you have any further question, do not forget to ask, because we are almost out of time here. It is just above 1 hour we've been here. I'm only allocated 1 hour, because when we do 1 hour, 30 minutes, 2 hours, it's going to affect me on my next video. And then what I know, if you do a video more than 1 hour, people don't have too much time to stay. They can spare 30 minutes to an hour, but when the video becomes too long, their data cannot carry it. So I learned to keep it within 1 hour or less than 1 hour so that you can watch it. So I'm going to see you guys tomorrow, Sunday, on my next video on intermittent fasting. What are the difference? What is intermittent fasting and how does it affect your body? Is going to be the topic we're going to discuss tomorrow. So I'm going to see you guys. Keep watching and keep sharing and give us a thumbs up. If you like this video, like it, all right, and then give me a thumbs up. See you guys tomorrow. Stay blessed. Bye-bye. Bernice, hello. You're in Kenya. How are you? Bernice Ngong. Okay. Yeah. How are you doing? Kelly, how are you? Kelly, where are you watching from? Do you guys have any question for me? All right. You're welcome to my page. Today's program, we are discussing the 3 Ps. What are the 3 Ps for diabetics? What are the 3 Ps for diabetics? It's what we've been discussing today. They are all common type of diabetics. Are you a diabetic, or you have anybody that is a diabetics? Benix, you say, where am I from? You mean where I'm broadcasting from, or where am I from? I'm in the States. I'm from the States. I'm broadcasting from the state, if that is what you're asking me from. Benice, you say you are in Kenya. All right. Nice to see you. What has my age and where am I born from have to do with the program? I don't understand why you're asking me my age and where I'm born from.